What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Living in Arizona, and today we're going to talk about recreational activities on the water. And this comes from a question from TechMan042. I've got a couple questions about this, and we're going to go ahead and dial this in since it's getting closer to the summer. Everyone's thinking about how to beat the heat, stay cool. You know, obviously you can go to a pool, but there's other things you can do to stay cool around the area of Phoenix and the whole state. So let's go ahead and dial this in as per TechMan042. Thanks, Jeff. Can you possibly do a video on places to go for water recreation? I saw a video on the Baja. What about water parks and preferably natural rivers or anything of that sort? I know the big waterfall place from Mad Max is somewhere down there. Roosevelt Lake, any good? Thanks for all your help and info. So thanks, TechMan, for asking this question. And guys, ask these questions. Also, as you can see, he posted this below our link. Living in Arizona, I'm also fielding questions in that group. So ask on this channel or ask on that group, Living in Arizona. You can see here it is. It's growing nice, and look at this cool picture of Prescott. I even saw that. I was like, hey, that's a nice shot. Thanks to Kevin Martin for posting that. He was asking about HOAs. I did make a video about HOAs, but I'll make another one here soon. Let's go ahead and talk about this. So you can see, here's a list on only in your state. I mean, I don't even know if these people are in Arizona, but you know, they've got a couple lakes on here. These ones are around Phoenix, the ones that I'm going to talk about first. Bartlett Lake, that's Maricopa County. You've got Apache Lake, that's kind of outside of Maricopa County. You got Canyon Lake, and then you've got I'm just showing you some pictures real quick before I actually go to the map. Lake Pleasant is a popular one if you're out in Peoria. And then you have Lake Powell, which is in the north. That's not even close to Maricopa County. And then you have Soro Lake, which is Tempe Town Lake, which is a reservoir that most people, you actually can't swim in Tempe Town Lake. I haven't seen anyone do that. So let's go ahead and look at the map here. So this is the lakes, this is the water system that most water recreational activities happen around Phoenix and Arizona, or yeah, in Phoenix area. So Salt River tubing, this area right here. Okay, this is, you can see these wild horses. I'm going to actually be doing this here soon, and I'm going to make a video about it. You basically park your car up here, and you take the tube, the inner tube that you rent or that you bring. It's up to you how you want to do that. But you take that and you go down here to the river, and you tube down. So parking right here, inner tubing all the way down, and you know, people bring ice chests. You bring a lot of sunscreen because you're gonna cook right there, especially in the summertime. But yeah, it's fun. I've done it a couple times. You just basically you hit rapids and stuff like that, but you're basically tubing down here. It's fun. I mean, it's a great place to meet people too. But that's Salt River. But up above Salt River is going to be the lake system. So the first one you're gonna hit is Soro Lake. They've got a marina down here. You can see. Pretty nice marina, right? Put your boat down there. We used to go to Soro Lake and cliff jump. Now, if you do that, just be careful. That was back when we were kids and we didn't really know any better about safety. But yeah, we used to cliff jump off these cliffs into the water, 25, 30 feet high. But like I said, be careful with that because we actually ended up losing a friend doing that. So that was later on, but anyways, but the marina is pretty good. It's a great place to boat. I like Soro Lake. I actually recommend Soro Lake as one of my favorite lakes. Canyon Lake just up the way a little bit. So this is all Salt River. This is all the Salt River creating these lakes. So here's Canyon Lake, same kind of deal. They've got the marina down here. I mean, they've got the Dolly steamboat, which you can go check that out. Each lake is a day experience. Like you know, you go to Soro Lake one day, you can rent a boat, rent jet skis, go hang out on Soro. Another time you can go to Canyon Lake, and you just go around here and you check out the area, right? And then up the way on the Salt River again, you come to another one called Apache Lake, and again, this one's going to have also a marina. And as far as the marinas go, I mean, it just depends on preference and what you really need to use it for, and how far off the beaten path you want to go. But another beautiful look at Apache Lake. So you can see Apache Lake's a little bit further. You know, the further up you go, the further you get away from Phoenix. So then all the way up the Salt River is going to be Theodore Roosevelt Lake, also known as Roosevelt Lake. They got a heck of a dam right here. This Roosevelt Dam. Just take a look at this thing. It's a big old dam. By the way, guys, these dams, these reservoirs are there for drinking water. This is part of your drinking water comes from the Salt River, and these reservoirs are there for providing water. This is the Salt River project. The other one is going to be called the Central Arizona project, which we talked about before. So that's why these lakes are really there. They're not just there for recreation. So don't be peeing in the water, guys, when you get in there and you're like, oh, I want to pee in the water. Anyway, so I like Roosevelt Lake. It's a little bit further. It takes ways to get up there. Sometimes I've taken the back roads up to Roosevelt, where you go up. Where's that road? I pulled up through here, and there's a dirt road. This one, I've driven this dirt road. It's like a Jeep trail. I took that all the way up, and that takes a while. But man, it's some wild countryside. You want to get to know Arizona's countryside, the backside. Go take the Jeep trail up to Roosevelt from, say, Bartlett or even the Verde. But anyway, so those are the reservoirs that you would go to from Phoenix on the other side. Okay. Then there's another place called the Verde River. The Verde River starts up in Camp Verde, right? Well, that's where it didn't start there, the tributary, but that's where Camp Verde gets its name. It also comes from Cottonwood. But that area is there's going to be some lakes, totally different way you're going to get there, but this is going to be Horseshoe Reservoir right here. Also has one of those dams. This is where my dad got bit by a rattlesnake when he was younger. And he showed us, but this is, you walk under the dam, amazing dams. They used to do some really ambitious stuff out here in Arizona back in the day, didn't they? These are old. I mean, these have been there for a while. But on a rainy day, you can go up there and take some pretty cool pictures. This is Horseshoe Dam. I never really liked Horseshoe. I always preferred Bartlett. And we would always go to Bartlett, which is right down the way. So, you follow the Verde River down and you come to Bartlett Lake Marina. This is probably the one that I remember as a kid going to the most and really enjoying. People go fishing right up next to the dam, I would always catch, what would I always catch? I always caught little sunfish down there. But here's a look at the Bartlett Dam, just so you can see it. Lots of saguaros. Pretty nice up here. You can hike around. Good place to just, check out the Arizona desert. Like I said, watch out for snakes, honestly. Not saying you're going to get bit, but, don't be aware that they're there. Like I said, the Bartlett Lake Marina, I mean, this is where I always go to drop off. We just go right into the boat ramp right here. It's there's the parking area. It doesn't look very busy, but it can get popping. Bartlett can get really popping. You can catch little sunfish right there in the water. Any one of these banks, catfish, there's big old catfish in there if you go deep enough or go farther enough out there. And you just take the, water sports galore up in Bartlett, really. So I like Bartlett. That's one of the ones I recommend. And then they also have Lake Pleasant. I've swam across this whole lake from shore to shore. We just did that because when we were kids, we'd always find out things that we wanted to do. And we just decided one day we wanted to see what was on the other side. And that's what brought us out there. But I've also used the boat to get around Pleasant. That one's fed by the Agua Fria River. So Agua Fria used to run all the way down into, Sun City, you can see, but now it's a dry river. That used to be a pretty big river. And they would all kind of come together. You had the Salt River, the Gila River, and the Agua Fria River right in here, which is now where Buckeye is in this whole river valley. But nowadays it's dry. But Lake Pleasant I actually think this is a really nice lake. It's hard to really pick which one's my favorite. I kind of like them all for different reasons, but I would say the first three you'd want to go to. So you want to do Salt River, which is not a lake, right? Salt River rafting. That's one great thing to do. Then as far as the lakes, my favorite lakes, three of them, if I had to pick, I would say Pleasant, Bartlett, and Soro Lake. But Canyon Lake can be just as good as just Soro's closer. And Canyon Lake's just a little, I don't know, Canyon Lake or Soro Lake. Roosevelt Lake, it's just so far out there. It's a long, windy road to get out there. It's a big old lake. And it's not as scenic as, say, Canyon Lake or Soro Lake. And then if you pull out even further and you want to go to some of these other places that, have lakes, but or things that you can explore as far as Arizona water recreation, you can check out San Carlos. But this is the Gila River, San Carlos Lake. Gila River is the one that comes from New Mexico. And that's a heck of a river. I mean, if you really wanted to if you're into hunting, people go up and down the Gila, and that's Gila, not H. They also got Peridot, which is a rock, but this is San Carlos Apache Cultural Museum. This is a day trip again, going to Gila, checking out the Gila River Indian communities. This is going to be a little bit more out. You got to be a little bit more rough and tumble to check out the Gila. Eastern Arizona is more rough and tumble, to be completely honest with you. And then you've got places like Morenci. It's really like you got Globe. Even Globe's real rough and tumble. I mean, and we used to play basketball up against Globe Miami. I think there's two different schools. We played Globe, and then we would play Miami. It's an old mining area, and man, it's rough and tumble. But that was at one point in Arizona's early heyday. Globe and Miami were up and coming. Nowadays, it's nothing. But these Native American reservations, Fort Apache and San Carlos reservations, it's just rough and tumble up there because it's it's if you're a city slicker, you're not gonna really you're gonna be like, why am I here? To be honest with you, I think some of you will be like, that's great, that's what I'm looking for. But out here in Prescott, there's a couple lakes too. So if you're heading up to Prescott, you're going to check out Watson Lake, Willow Creek Reservoir. These are a little bit smaller, but they're also pretty cool. But like I said, they're very small. And then if you go up all the way up to northern Arizona, you're going to check out Lake Mead. I mean, once you get up to Lake Powell, say, you're really getting closer to Utah. I mean, this is more of a Utah residence lake, because it's mostly in Utah, but some of it does come over into Arizona, and there's where the dam is, Lake Powell Dam. It's called the Glen Canyon Dam. And yet again, another ambitious dam project. This is where they were damming up the Colorado River. But Lake Powell, if you can get a boat all the way around here and go around Lake Powell, you're really going to be thinking, wow, what a beauty. And then you also have the Little Colorado around here, which also has some waterfall systems on it. And then you follow that all the way down into the Grand Canyon. By the time it gets out of the Grand Canyon, and you have Supai Falls, Havasupai Falls, just Mooney Falls, these beautiful waterfalls, right? You know what I'm talking about. Okay, you guys know. You've seen those. They're on every Arizona highways and whatnot. You can see them right here. That's Havasu Creek, right? But this is in basically the Grand Canyon. And then you come down here, and you've got the Havasupai Indian Reservation, just that beautiful colored water, right? And then you have outside of Grand Canyon, you finally come into Lake Mead, which is really Las Vegas's lake. This is where a lot of people from Vegas go. Most people from Phoenix just go to our reservoirs, but this is also on the Colorado. This is Lake Mead, Hoover Dam. And the Hoover Dam is quite an engineering marvel. Whenever you drive from Phoenix to Vegas, you go right over here and you get to see the Hoover Dam off to the side, the hydroelectric generators. I mean, it's picturesque. This one is really an amazing place because it's got a hydroelectric power plant. A lot of you guys are asking about Kingman. Why don't I recommend Kingman? Well, Kingman, there's basically nothing out there, okay? And it's not related to water recreation, but I mean, Kingman, look, this is it. It gets hot as heck in the summer and cold as heck in the winter, and there's nothing there. You'd be better off probably over in Bullhead City. But another lake you can check out, which there's not much here. I mean, this is like moonscape, so it's not really that interesting, but it's Lake Mojave. And you come down here, and there's going to be Lake Havasu City. This is a really cool lake for boating activities. I would recommend Lake Havasu City, actually, if you can get all the way over there. It's just so far away. So, I mean, you got to go quite a ways out there to get to Lake Havasu. And you have the Parker Dam. So, I haven't spent too much time out in Parker, Lake Havasu City, but I do know it's pretty good. And the Colorado River, you can do Colorado River rapids at the bottom of the Grand Canyon should you be strong enough to get all the way down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon and come all the way back up. There's no road, okay? And then Salton Sea is in California, but we're not going to consider that. And then obviously the other lake, or the other water recreation, is going to be going to Puerto Penasco. I've already made a video about Puerto Penasco. I've made a video about two videos about Mexico, the Baja, and the next place I'm going to be talking about is going to be down here in Guaymas, and down basically this whole area right here, the other side of Mexico. Guaymas is right here. So I'm going to be talking about Guaymas next in this side of Mexico, and this takes you all the way down to Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan. Here's Puerto Vallarta right here. There's some pretty cool places down here. But this is not Arizona, obviously. This is a whole nother country. But there's some beautiful beaches down here that you can check out, like Sayulita, a nice beach. I'll make a video on this. But, you know, this is our... You can also go to San Diego, but I really like this area here. Anyways, guys, thanks to everyone who's been watching these videos and thumbs up in these videos and asking questions. And we will see you next time. Watch one of these other videos. And join our group and subscribe to this channel, Living in Arizona.